This is the plaintiff, John. He says he and the defendant have dated on and off for the past 5 years, and they even live together. The woman never paid him the rent she owes. Her name is on the lease as well as his, and she's like a grifter who uses men. He's here seeking the 5 months' rent he's owed in the amount of $2,750. This is the defendant, Patricia. She says she and the plaintiff had a fight, and she refused to speak with him for a few weeks. He got all kinds of mad at her, and this is the only reason he's bringing her to court today. He doesn't have a case against her. They were boyfriend and girlfriend living together for 6 years, and she most definitely doesn't owe him any rent money. She's accused of taking advantage.
All parties, please hit your right hand. Be seated, come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
John and Patricia. John, you're suing Patricia for $2,750, her portion of the rent from January to May of this year that she's not paying, and according to you, she's supposed to pay.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, what happened here?
We just had a verbal agreement. We came from New York in January. Okay, she had a job in waiting.
How do you two know each other?
We've been dating and living together on and off for the last 5 years.
Okay, and when you were living together in New York, you
Yes.
moved to Florida.
Yes.
When you were living together in New York, was she paying rent?
She was paying bills, food, cable, and she was taking some bills.
So the division of stuff was you paid the rent and she paid food and other bills?
That's correct.
Okay, so you get to the new place, and
Okay.
according to you, at the new place, it's going to change, and each of you are going to pay half and half rent.
That's correct.
And when you move to the new place, you're a couple, right?
That's correct.
And then when you get to the new place, does she pay rent?
No.
All right, so she doesn't pay in January, and you move in January?
Yes, correct.
So January, February, March. When do you file this lawsuit? In April?
In March.
All right, so now when do you say to her in January, hey, where's the rent?
Well, I didn't say nothing until when I asked her about getting the job.
Which was when?
This was in February, March, basically, okay? When I explained to her about the job, just to pay her
What do you mean you explained to her
No,
about
I asked her about her obligation. Let me rearrange it. And she said, stop harassing me. I'll call the cops.
Right, but what about the job? Like, you're dating her. Like, the fact that she's not going to work, you don't notice that sooner than February, March?
Well, basically...
When you got down there, why wasn't she working?
I have no idea. She told me...
Did you ask her?
Yes, I did. And she said she didn't want to lose her Obamacare. She didn't want to lose her health insurance. So she didn't take the job that she had lined up when we moved to Florida.
Okay. And so then did she get a different job, or what did she do all day?
She wouldn't communicate with me. I have no idea. She would leave 8, 9 in the morning, come home at 8, 9 at night. I have
Where
no
was she
idea.
all that day?
I have no idea.
Where were you?
At work, Your Honor.
Okay, so you
This
started
was
working
now.
in January?
No, Your Honor.
When did you start working?
A couple of weeks ago.
Oh, well, that's not what I'm asking. Where were you during January, February, March when he's talking about?
With him. I
What,
wasn't
did he
out.
work?
No, Your Honor.
How do people eat? Do you work?
I'm retired, Your Honor.
Okay, so you have a pension?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so you guys, according to you, you're together all of January, all of February. When do you guys break up?
It was about 4, 5 weeks. 5, the most 6 weeks.
Ago?
Yes.
Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes.
Okay, and why did you guys break up, according to you?
Well, we had a verbal argument.
About?
I was speaking about my nieces and nephews, and he just went into a rage and doesn't want to hear about them and my family. And it just turned very, very ugly.
How long have you been dating?
6 years.
Okay, I take it you realize you're not dating anymore, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, so he wants you to pay your rent if you're going to... You're both still living there?
Yes, Your Honor.
Well, that's awkward. All right, so nobody's going to leave. Both of you are just there. Both of your names are on the leases?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Have either of you tried to get out of the lease with the landlord?
No, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I'm paying the rent. There's no reason. I'm settled where I am. I would like her to leave since she's not paying her obligation.
Right.
And I already processed it. I went to the realty company already.
So what are you doing?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm looking for a safe environment to live in. Until then, I have nowhere else to go.
Why is it so hard for you to find a safe environment in Volusia County, Florida?
For what I could afford.
Okay. Who's the lady next to you?
My witness and best friend for 43 years.
Is she down in Florida or up here?
She's in Florida.
Oh, okay. Is she in Volusia?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. So apparently there's no rentals anywhere? I mean, come on, you know? What's the deal here, okay? Like, the police have even been called to your apartment. Tell me who called the police.
She did, Your Honor.
Why did you call the police?
Because I was in fear for my life, Your Honor.
Why were you in fear for your life?
I was sleeping on the couch. He came home. He must have been, I don't know what he was doing. He came in the room with a hammer in his hand. Came by, I don't know what he was going to do with the hammer. Pushed me, I fell, and I called the police.
Why is there no mention of a hammer in the police report?
I don't know, Your Honor. I don't know.
That tends to be kind of an important fact that a police officer would put in the report.
I told them, but because there was no marks, he didn't hit me with the hammer. He pushed me and I fell, and there was no marks. So I don't know why they did not.
He didn't get arrested for domestic violence.
No.
They didn't buy what you were saying.
No.
I don't know. You're an ex-cop?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I think they knew that too. I think but I don't understand. See, normal people, if they're not getting along and they're going to break up, just make arrangements to move on. Why are you still living there rent-free? Because you're not paying rent. And you know he wants you to pay rent because you're no longer together. So why aren't you paying rent?
Well, I am trying to get out, Your Honor.
No, that's not my question. See, the rest of us mere mortals have to pay rent if we're living somewhere. So if, according to you, for 6 weeks you've known he's not supporting you anymore. According to him, since January you've known that and you haven't ponied up the rent. So whichever way I find it to be, you know that at some point, the first of the month has happened in both of those scenarios and you don't come up with rent. Why does he have to support you until you get around to finding a suitable place for you? Why?
No, Your Honor, I didn't know this in January. There was no problem in
Well,
January.
what about in March? When were the police first called?
Police first call when I came back, she called them on April 7th, but also I filed a report, the civil suit in March because she wouldn't even talk to me, communicate.
So the first police report is April 7th, and you clearly know he wants you out. In fact, you got served before the first time you ever called the police, right? What day was she served, you said?
I believe someday in March. I don't have the papers from the courts in Florida, but it was someday in March.
Oh, April 3rd. My roommate, the defendant, agreed to pay half. Were you a roommate?
No, Your Honor, I have numerous evidence here to show I'm not a roommate.
What's your evidence there?
I have cards, I have pictures.
Okay. But you know, you're not. Why did you say in the statement of claim that she was a roommate rather than ex-girlfriend?
Because basically it was friends without benefits. It was a roommate. She'd come and go as she pleases.
Friends without benefits?
It's friends without
What's
benefits.
the point of that?
That's it. That's right. That's right.
Certainly no point to that.
And that was going on
How
for a long time.
long had it been since you received the benefit?
Probably January. Okay.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So, could you live with an ex after you broke up?
Probably not. I think things would get a little bit too tricky for that.
Why?
It's just a lot of tension in a lot of ways, and don't want to have to fight with someone that clearly didn't need to be in my life.
What are you saying?
If she or he is good people, good person, I think, yeah.
But if you broke up for a reason.
Yeah, but
See?
enough.
Huh?
It's cool.
What do you say?
I'll totally agree because it'd be a little too complicated because you broke up for a reason and there might be a little bit of tension.
Fair enough. Going inside the courtroom.
All right. See, here's what I've got. I've got a situation where I think that you have been supporting her, and that was fine with you until it wasn't, and I get it. But so I've got to kind of decide from what point forward. Do you have any evidence to prove that she was supposed to pay the rent in January?
Well, her
5th?
name's on the lease. In the
Yeah, that
verbal
doesn't
agreement.
matter. I mean,
Your
two
Honor,
people could have, and they could have their own internal arrangement that you're paying all the bills and she's paying all the other
When
stuff.
I was in New York, I gave up. I had a business on the side. I gave up. My pension was about half of what I was making, so I took a big pay cut. So when I came down there, I told her I couldn't do it. I have a kid in college.
Okay, I hear you.
I
I'm
couldn't
asking
do
if you
it.
have any proof of that, that the arrangement from the first forward was supposed to be that she's paying half the rent.
Well,
like,
then-
for example, if you're not communicating and so maybe you're texting each other, you know, you would have proof that in January you say, hey, where's the rent?
But no, I have nothing on it.
All
But
right,
see,
so
everything-
now what we're going to operate under is when does a reasonable person understand that the gravy train is over? Okay? A reasonable person would understand as of April 3rd when the lawsuit's filed, certainly April 5th or whenever you receive it. So if the gravy train is over, that would put us in the following situation. It's April. You need 30 days notice that your gravy train is over. All right? And so that brings us to May. By June 1st, you need to be out of there. Or if you're not out of there, you need to pay rent. Because nobody has to support you for eternity or for the rest of the year, or for any other situation like that.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
effective June 1st, you're either out of there or you're paying the rent. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you sure you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we're going to issue a written order explaining that, because I want to make sure that you have protection if you have to take it to court again, because June 1st comes and goes and she doesn't pay the rent. All right.
Half, Your Honor, 550.
Yeah, half the rent. Yeah.
And,
Okay?
And what about the previous monetary?
You can't prove it.
Prove what? So verbally, so I put her name on the lease just because I liked her and it's
Yeah.
over?
Was her
No.
name on the prior lease?
Yeah, when she was holding her
Oh,
own.
okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, you
Okay.
see where the
Well, you know
messiness
what,
comes?
Your Honor, she wouldn't do it because she knows she would have to leave, vacate. And this
Okay.
is her way of riding the system.
Okay.
That's what she's done.
Yeah,
Okay?
but here's
So
the
I-
thing. If you're not going to pay the rent for her like you've done 6 years, what you should do is you should put that in writing or be able to document it somehow. For example, you demand payment in January by sending her, like a 3-day notice, or you text it so that you have proof of that. And what I would do if I were you is maybe try to see if you can get another apartment in the same place or something. Maybe the landlord will let you out. I don't know. Try to work something out, because I know you don't want her there.
I've already spoke to the real estate.
Yeah, I know.
I already did.
Yeah. All right. That's my verdict. Good luck, folks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Well, the plaintiff doesn't collect any money, but the defendant, Patricia, is on her way out of the courtroom. You've been given the word now. You got to start paying rent for sure.
Yes.
Within about 3 weeks.
Yes.
Okay.
Or leave.
Or get out.
Yes, very fair verdict.
So you're going to do
I'm
that?
happy. Yes, I'm going to try my best.
How is
Either
it
way.
working out with two of you still there and under the same roof? How do you dodge each other?
She's always at my house.
Yeah. All right.
always
I'm
I mean,
trying.
seriously.
My house.
What,
It's not easy.
no, how do
It's
you
under
work?
a
How
lot
do you
of
do
pressure.
it? A lot of people might wonder, how do you do it?
Just being tough.
Being tough?
Yes.
Well, I mean, you're in the same house. You come in and
We're
out.
in
You're there at the
separate-
same
yeah,
time.
but separate areas. It's a pretty huge.
It is pretty
big,
huge.
yeah.
All right. Well, good enough. I'm sorry for your problems, but that's it. Okay. You're going to have to start paying up soon.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
And you no more friends, right?
No.
It's over. The friendship is over between you and the plaintiff.
Yes.
It's over.
Yes.
You're not talking very much. You
Yes.
know that. You have 2 words. Yes,
Yes.
no. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye. John is on his way out of the courtroom. You okay?
I'm fine. I'm just a little disappointed.
You sorry you didn't have proof so you could get the $2,700 you were seeking?
Well,
You
one
understand the
aspect,
judge's
sure,
verdict?
sure, I understand. I understand.
So what's going to happen now when she doesn't pay up?
Well, if she don't pay up, she has to leave. There's no.
You'll have to push her out.
No, I won't touch her. I don't do that to a woman.
No, I mean, you know.
Yeah, I push her. She's gonna push herself out.
Okay, good enough. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sorry you had such problems. Harvey?
Okay, look, I mean, if both people have a right to stay there, you got to break the stalemate. You got to sit down with the other person and say, look, let's work this out. We're making each of our lives miserable, and something's got to give. I mean, you got to reason with the person and not just talk about legal rights.